Welcome to the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811. I'm your host, Kevin Blackwell. And of course, each week I'm joined by Samford head football coach Chris Hatcher. This past Saturday night, the Bulldogs battled the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles, and in a back-and-forth affair, which saw a lot of exchanges of the lead. Samford scores a winning touchdown with 25 seconds left in the game for a thrilling come-from-behind 33-28 victory. Coach, if I were to tell you back in early August that you would complete the non-conference part of this schedule with a 2-1 record, you'd have probably taken that, wouldn't you?
Well, there's no question. And we could have taken it any combination of the wins. But, considering, having Georgia mixed in there, being optimistic, a 2-1 record headed into Western Carolina sounded pretty good. And due to the hard work of our team and staff, it's come to fruition. And now we get ready to start SoCon play at Samford Stadium on Saturday, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, let's talk about the game this past Saturday night. I know Cookeville is a difficult place to play. You've talked a lot about that. The team seemed to be really prepared for the game. First half, of course, we start out with some issues. A muff punt inside the 10-yard line. We had some blown coverage on one big pass play they hit us on. Find ourselves down 11 points in the second quarter. But the resiliency of this team, the character of this team, was on obvious display, I thought, Saturday night.
We made a ton of mistakes, Kevin, early in the game. I didn't really feel like we were down 11 points because I really felt like we were in command of the game early on. Unfortunately, the scoreboard didn't show it. We 3-and-out on muff the punt. They get a touchdown down there deep in our territory. We go down there, we score, we tie it up. We have some good drives that end in a couple misfires in the end zone, a missed field goal down there. Have a busted coverage, and then all of a sudden, a game that you felt like you could have had a pretty good lead. Not that it would have been safe, but you felt like you had command of the operation. You look up and, holy cow, you're down 2 scores. But fortunately, our guys kept playing, and the second half we came out with a little better focus than we did the first half.
Yeah, in the second quarter, we're down by 11. 4 minutes to go before halftime. Got a 4th and 3. Michael Hires finds Peyton Ringer for that 39-yard touchdown reception. That was a big play in the game, I thought, because it gave us some momentum going into halftime.
No question, and that cut the lead. And, again, it wasn't a very good call by me, but Michael and Peyton and the other guys made it happen, made it work there with it. We got behind the corner there. So, again, at least, offensively, we put together and finished a drive to end the half. I thought that it was really good. Our defense, actually, we had 3-and-out and gave our offense another chance to score before the half that we couldn't complete. So I think from that point forward, I really saw a little bit different attitude with our team. And I just think we kind of got mad and just not at each other. We were just mad we were in that situation. And the second half, we came out and played much, much better.
So talking about the second half, so I'm looking at our 3 scoring drives in the second half. 9 plays, 91 yards. 14 plays, 77 yards, and of course the winning drive, 11 plays, 75 yards. I saw there the healthy dose, of course, of Jay Stanton and Jalen Thomas and Michael Hires, Chandler Smith, Ty King. Also was, I thought, a great contributor in the game. We were able to really keep the sticks moving in the second half.
We did. We got a running game going. We got in some 2 tight end sets, and we're able to kind of hit some big runs, and then we would get in our wide sets and able to hit some quick balls and found some seams running up the middle. But again, we had bad field position there, and unfortunately our offense did a really good job. But that last drive was something else. We've been inconsistent all night. I thought that Mike missed a few throws that could have been some touchdowns early in the game. But we executed extremely well there then offensively. And, if you know you're going to win a close one, it builds a lot of character and confidence within your team. But I'd rather them not be that close.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that drive. It was significant. Down 28-27, get the ball back, under 3 minutes left to go on our own 25. Now, Coach, I know that you guys prepare for these types of situations all the time at practice, kind of this 2-minute offense, but you still got to execute, you got to make the plays. What Chandler Smith did to turn what was essentially an out pattern into a explosive play was an athletic move on his part.
Well, Chandler's a really good player, and we got some guys that can make plays, but he had a great day, 3 touchdowns. I think that I addressed the team on Monday. He muffs the first punt, which he's a very sure-handed punt returner, to set up Tennessee Tech's first touchdown. But he continues to play the next play. He doesn't get down about it. He admits the mistake and plays and ends up having 3 touchdowns and a game winner. So that's really what it's all about.
It's almost like the muff punt made him be more determined in the game.
Let's I don't know about that. I hope that we don't have any more muff punts, and let's just play angry the whole game.
I agree with that. Well, we have to also give kudos to our defense. They allow only 1 score, Coach, in the second half. And look, Tennessee Tech's offense, they've got some really good skilled players, but I thought our defense played well.
Defensively, I thought that we played really well too, and we put ourselves in a bind with the muff punt early on, so it literally gave them 7 points. We had a busted coverage early in the game, but other than that, they had to hit us with some trickeration, if you will, a lot of double passes to move. Second half, we played outstanding, and unfortunately, they got a little drive there late. That was the only score they had there in the second half. But I think we're continuing to play good defense. I think the offense is starting to improve. Our special teams, at times we look really good, and other times we're inconsistent. So we got to get our focus for 60 game minutes better than it was last week if we're going to be able to compete this week with Western Carolina.
Yeah, well, just kind of looking at the stat sheets, some individual stats. Michael Hires goes 29-47, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chandler Smith, 5 catches, 53 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jay Stanton, 98 yards, and Jalen Thomas, 96 yards. Coach, I thought this was kind of a breakout game for him, the senior from transfer from Elon.
Well, Jalen's been looking really good at practice in our scrimmages. He's shown some good flashes, and it was a game that we found a lot of success rushing the ball, and the first couple games he didn't get that many touches, so it was really good to see him come in and run like he did. But right now I think offensively that strength is our offensive line.
Absolutely. Well, on Saturday, Samford opens up conference play by hosting Western Carolina, 2 p.m. kickoff. Catamounts come to the game with a 2-1 record and a prolific offensive attack, which rolled up over 700 yards last week against Presbyterian. Coach, looks like our defense is going to have to find a way to slow down the Catamounts.
Well, there's no question. I have great respect for Kerwin Bell, their head coach. He was 2 coaches after me at Valdosta State, won a national championship there. He does a great job offensively. They're similar to us. They brought a lot of transfers. They got a lot of new faces, but offensively, super explosive. Got 2 great running backs and 2 receivers that arguably could be 2 of the better receivers or the best receivers in the league. And then you flip over to their defense. They're very aggressive. They're long. They're athletic. They're not afraid to take chances. So, again, typical Southern Conference game. But Western Carolina had a lot of preseason accolades, very well deserved of what I've seen in the first 3 ball games from their club.
And it will be family weekend at Samford. Kickoff again 2 p.m. Tickets are still available at SamfordTickets.com, and the game will be televised on ESPN3. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of the Chris Hatcher Show, presented by Alabama 811.